Good morning, everyone. My name is Ernesto Balderas, Interim Executive Director for Utah Cultural Alliance. These are the notes that I have for week 4 of the Utah Legislature in the 2024 General Session. Let's get started. In terms of week 4, the biggest item was definitely appropriations from the Business Economic Development and Labor Appropriations Subcommittee to the Public Education Appropriations Subcommittee. In BEDL, or the Business Economic Development and Labor Appropriations Subcommittee, the $6 million one-time for fiscal years 2025, 2026, and 2027 for Utah Division of Arts and Museums grant program, the General Operating Support Grants, was prioritized, and we're very happy to see that. In addition to that, there were a wide variety of other cultural asks, such as CCE Cemetery Preservation Grants, the Golden Spike Project, America 250 celebrations, and many more. If you want, you can go onto the Utah Legislature's website and you can view the full appropriations list, but we're very happy to see that. In Public Education Appropriations Subcommittee, there was roughly $240,000 in new ongoing appropriations for both POPs and IC, the two groups that provide cultural education to students throughout the entire state. So we are very happy to see that was prioritized as well. There was additionally a $3 million appropriation for the Beverly Taylor Sorensen Arts Learning Program. However, it does come with some sticking points. There is an issue this year where they would like to see a statute change of the 80% and 20% distribution that has been historical from about 2014 till now. And they want to change that to a uniform block grant, meaning that the Utah State Board of Education would take an average salary for a fine arts education specialist and distribute a uniform block grant that would be appropriate for everyone that they deem, and it would be allocated to all of the LEAs. So that is slightly problematic just because BTS out forecasts that many local education agencies, charter schools, or school districts will have to actually pay more than the 20% that they've been historically had to pay for it. And some school districts will actually be getting some additional funding in terms of things. So it doesn't quite equitably distribute those funds, and so we are working with BTS ALP to try and renegotiate that statute change back. But now these appropriations move to the Executive Appropriations Committee, so I'll be asking some of you, our membership, to help send messages to request prioritization of these priorities. In terms of bills that were monitored this week, I think there were two specifically. HB 29, Sensitive Material Review Amendments. As a reminder, this is the bill that is meant to provide clarification on sensitive material reviews carried out in school settings against materials that could be pornographic or obscene in nature. Senator Weiler did propose an amendment to lessen the harmful effects of the bill, and it was passed. And the amendment makes it so that LEAs, or local education agencies, have the option to place a material deemed as a sensitive material in either 3 school districts or 2 schools and 3 charter schools to the LEA board meeting agenda. The LEA would then have the option to vote to remove or not remove that material that has been deemed a sensitive material if completed within 60 days. The amendment also removed that legislators residing within a school district can trigger a sensitive material review, so we're happy to see that. Now, while these changes are substantive, and we are very grateful for Senator Weiler to put in the effort and willing to work on understanding the realities of what this bill can cause, there are still serious concerns about how LEAs are being impacted by other LEAs and their actions and things that are happening there. And that is a concern because first and foremost, the idea of local choice should be first and foremost within the school libraries. So we respectfully ask that you contact your senator and ask them to oppose HB 29, Sensitive Material Review Amendments. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to call me or send me a message. In HB 335, State Grant Process Amendments, this was a concerning bill as it would mandate a number of requirements for CCE and UA&M's grant programs that are not realistic, and they kind of water down the efficiency of all of our state grants programs. So I'll be reaching out to many of you personally to ask your legislators to incorporate some very specific changes that we think would be very substantive and help alleviate these issues. In lighter news, SJR 14, Joint Resolution honoring the 125th anniversary of the Division of Arts and Museums, did pass unanimously in committee, so we were very happy to see that. SB 175, designation of Ballet West the Nutcracker as a state landmark, created the first notion of a living historic landmark and designated Ballet West the Nutcracker, William Christensen's the Nutcracker, as a living historic landmark. And so that was really exciting to see, and we hope to see this continue for other cultural things that we would deem as living historic landmarks. In SCR 5, concurrent resolution honoring Ballet West, that also did pass unanimously at committee, honoring William Christensen, the Nutcracker, and Ballet West history. So those were all nice things that we saw within the cultural realm at the legislature this year. This week, we'll be monitoring EACs, or Executive Appropriations Committees, appropriations recommendations, and speaking with them to ensure that cultural asks are prioritized. Very specifically, the $6 million one-time or restoration of $2 million in grant funding to the Utah Division of Arts and Museums. They're meeting on Monday, February 12th and Tuesday, February 13th, if you would like to listen in. HB 78, Motion Picture Incentives Amendments, one of the big bills that would remove the sunset of the Rural Film Economic Incentive Program that has generated quite a few jobs, according to the Economic Impact Report that we released last week, will be heard in Senate on Monday, February 12th at 4 p.m. So I hope you will take a listen to that. And then, of course, we'll be continuing to work in lockstep with UA&M and CCE, Utah Division of Arts and Museums, in cultural and community engagement, in incorporating meaningful changes in HB 115 and HB 335 that just allow for really good efficiency in our statewide grants programs. We know that they work, and we want to see them continue to work and continue to improve. In HB 29, sensitive material review amendments, will also be monitoring the way that that bill shapes up as it heads to the floor for a final vote. If you have any further questions or things that you want further updates on, please feel free to contact me at 714-876-7125 or at Ernesto, ERNESTO, at utculture.org. Until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.